today I thought we'd focus on unpopular design opinions. So these are either items or trends or topics that seem to have taken over the internet, either by other YouTube influencers or just popular opinion on items that people have, and it seems like, well, once one person has it, then a lot of other people get it, and I'm just gonna let you know whether I thought it was something that I would have bought into or purchased myself or have in my home, and if I do, I wanna say why I have it, and if I don't, I would say why I don't have it or why I didn't get into the trend. And this is just, again, my opinion. So if you have these things in your home, I'm not saying you should get rid of them. If you love it, love it. That doesn't mean it's good or bad or anything. It's just that's what you love and that's why you bought it. And they're just, it's just decorating at the end of the day. We're not saving the world. It's just your opinions and what you like and my opinions and what I like. But I try to give a professional opinion on why I either bought certain things or didn't buy certain things or buy into certain trends. So that's what we're talking about today. And so it's never about me trying to force my style onto you. At the end of the day, it's the client's home, and it's where they are going to live and spend all their time and make their memories and be with their family. And so you want the house to reflect you, but I'm going to do as much as I can to still have some of my style in it so that you know that it's something that I designed. But you still want it to reflect you and your home and how you live. And a lot of, I think, trends, people forget that you still want to watch a TV or you still have other things in the house that you still want to do. And so you're trying to also still do those things while following trends. And I think you should still keep that in perspective when you live in your home.
Right. Okay, so let's dive into some of the topics. What's the first one from?
So the first topic today I'd like to talk about is there seems to be this discussion about whether or not you should decorate your home if you rent or not. And my feeling is you always want your home to feel like your home and be a reflection of you, and whether or not you rent or own shouldn't determine on whether or not you make your house feel nice or luxurious or elevated or upscale or any of those things. And quite honestly, some of that sounds sort of elitist, where you're looking down on people that don't own, and that's just ridiculous. Not everybody wants to own a house. And some people, they're happy renting or living in an apartment or a townhouse or whatever because they don't want the maintenance. And there's nothing wrong with either of those. If you want to own a house, do everything you need to do to figure out how to own your own home. But also, if you want to rent, there's nothing wrong with renting and still making your place look nice and shopping for the things that you like and buying the nice piece of art and the beautiful sofa and the nice dishes and those things, because that is just a reflection of who you are. I don't think that person changes because you own or rent. I think the person you are should still reflect the home that you live in. And I would certainly, take the time to decorate and make my house look beautiful, even though I'm renting versus owning. And eventually, if that's what you'd want to do, the things that you purchased, if they're nice and high quality, those things that you purchased while you rent, you just move that stuff into the new house. And then you either it becomes elevated, you can sell it on Facebook Marketplace and buy something else. I mean, there's nothing wrong with making your space feel nice even though you're renting. I don't believe in the other.
Absolutely. Now, why do you think that's even a debate for some people?
Because I think it was just a topic that some people have discussed. Well, I'm not going to spend the money on myself, is sort of how I look at it, because I'm only renting. And that's really only something that people do that own a house. And, if you're renting, you might be renting in this one house for like maybe, 1 or 2 years, and then you move to someplace else. And I think sometimes they look at, well, it's just temporary, and so I don't want to spend a lot of money on something that's only temporary. But I mean, things happen. You never know how long you might be staying in some place that you may have only thought you were there for 2 years, but you may end up being there for 5 years, or who knows. But I still think that you still invest in you and the place where you live and your environment, because I think the place where you live and how you invest in it and how it makes you feel is more important than trying to, make it feel if it's, temporary or long-term or whatever. I just think where you live and how you live affects you emotionally. It also, I think I would rather come home to a place where you come home and it's nice and clean and things that you have good memories of than the opposite of that, where you always come home and it's really not a place where you want to be. Because I think if it is a temporary situation, it will, I think, be more frustrating too. I don't know. I always think that being in a place where you're more comfortable, things that you love and see all the time are around you, I just think it puts you in a better mood and keeps you in a better mood. You can be on the top of the world one day, and the next day you have a death in your family, or you suffer a heart attack, or you become ill and you have some, cancer or whatever. So I really think you live in the moment and you try to make the best of each moment and make memories. I really think that your home should reflect that. The memories you make over the holidays, the memories you make traveling, your kids graduating from high school. My daughter's only 10, so I have a while before that happens. But we continue to do things during even your day where you have good memories. Like that. So you just do little things throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout your month, where you're just working on creating memories between your family and yourself. And I really think that doing those things in your home and reflecting those things around your home will help you keep those lasting memories, because I really think that that's what it's about. The next topic that seems to be up for discussion is ceiling fans. Would you have a ceiling fan in your house? Yes or no? Do you like ceiling fans? And in our particular this house here, we don't have any. I don't have anything against ceiling fans. I just think that there are some that look nicer than others. And if you're going to have a ceiling fan, then why not have a nice one? If you're going to have one that, it's not, the basic sort of ceiling fan that doesn't fit your style and maybe has, a dated sort of light fixture attached to it. There are so many options that are out. There really is no reason not to have a nicer one if you're going to have one at all. I think the reason I don't have them personally in the spaces where I could have a ceiling fan, I chose to have a light fixture or a nicer chandelier or something like that, just because that's my style and that's what I like. Also, my house doesn't get very hot in the summer, where I really feel like I need to have a ceiling fan to push the air around. We do have an open concept in our home, but our house is zoned. And so in the areas that we spend more time in, we have the air conditioning adjusted in those areas that we spend more time in, and the areas that we spend more time in, we're cool in, and we don't need a ceiling fan. I also don't have one in my bedroom. I have a small fan that sits on a bookshelf just so that I have noise at night, but I don't really feel like I personally need a ceiling fan in my room to help me sleep or to cool me off or any of that. I'm just not hot at night. I still have a comforter on my bed. I have a quilt or a blanket on my bed that I sleep with year round, and it's comfortable. So me personally, I don't need them, but I'm not gonna knock you if you have one, unless it's an ugly one. So I just really think that there are so many options out there that if you're going to have one, at least try and take the time to search out one that fits the style of your home, that is a little more updated, and that also gives you the function of a ceiling fan if you choose to have one.
So why do you think this is even a debate right now, like a hot, unpopular?
Because I think ceiling fans have that negative connotation of it's cheap, and I think the ugly ones are kind of cheap. And so I really think that you can still find a nicer quality ceiling fan that suits the purpose of a ceiling fan, which is cooling off your room, and that is still stylish and nice and elevated and makes your house or the room look nice. I think that that's really why the topic is. It's either, I think there are some, interior designers that don't like them, or there are some influencers that don't like them, or say that they're ugly or cheap or whatever. And my thing is, I think people live within their budget, and you kind of have to live within your budget. But I also think within your budget, you can still do the nicest quality thing or the nicest elevated option of that within your budget. Just because you don't have a lot doesn't mean you still can't have something that looks nice. And I don't know, that's just my theory. It's always been my sort of theory. I mean, you look and see, well, what can I afford at where I'm at, and still make it look nice. Just because I don't have a lot of money, that doesn't mean I want it to be cheap. I still want it to look nice. And I still think that there are some lesser expensive options, but still look nice, that you can choose. And I think that that's where that came from.
Love it. Okay, so we got ceiling fans down. What other topic is under this umbrella?
Open closet systems.
What about that?
Whether or not you should have an open system versus a closed system. And honestly, I think it depends on your preference. In my closet, I have a combination. So I do have some doors on some cabinets, some cabinetry in my closet. And I have some other areas of the closet that are completely open. I also have a countertop drawer situation in my closet. I have a pretty good sized closet. I'm a little spoiled. But if I did have to do it again, I probably would have done a little more closed cabinetry for some of my like shirts or jackets and that sort of thing, put them behind glass. I kind of like where it's more of an open-ish concept, where you do have more doors, but the doors you have glass, so you can kind of see your things. Yeah, so it's like high-end closet, but you kind of feel like you're in a boutique. It would be that. If I could redo it, it would be that.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I don't say I spend a lot of time in my closet, but I do like clothes. I'm not in the closet at all anymore, but I do like clothes, and I do like the experience of when you go shopping and you go to the nicer stores and stuff, how everything kind of looks displayed, and it's all, nice behind the glass and on the really nice hangers and all of that. That's an experience. And so to me, when you're taking the time to get ready for whatever it is you're getting ready for, work, school, dinner, whatever it is, going out with your significant other or by yourself or whatever, and you just want that experience of taking the time to go through your nice things, it helps. I don't know. I just think it puts you in a better mood. And it's an experience. And so I don't know, it just feels nice to be able to go into your closet, be able to find all your things. They're, nicely organized and all that. I just like the experience of that. Some people like the more open concept because you can see all of your things, but it also makes you have to keep your closet organized and clean. For me, it would. And right now, it's not its best because there are some things that need to be hung up, and there are some other things that just need to be cleaned up and more organized and that sort of thing. And so when you have your items where they're on display all the time, and you're probably not the best at keeping them organized, it's always going to look messy. Where if they're behind doors, who cares about the mess? You put it in there, you close the door, and you never have to see it. And so some people like their closet like that. And I'm more of a mix. There are certain things I would like behind doors and inside of drawers. But my really nicer pieces I would like to have on display behind some nice, nice cabinetry, nice glass. Just close that up and you can admire your things.
Like Batman.
Yeah.
When he walks into his cave and Alfred's there.
Dude.
Why don't you hire someone to be in the closet?
Right.
Because you're out of the closet.
Right. No more closet. So someone else can take care of that. And I'll just come in when I need to.
I'll have a towel.
Exactly.
That's fun. Okay, so we got the open or closed closet debate. Now,
yes.
What's another one?
Centering your TV over the fireplace.
What do you think of that?
Again, I think it's just how you live. It depends on how you live and where you watch your TV. I have my TV over the fireplace, and some people might think it's too high. I also have an 85-inch TV, and I watch TV in our open concept part of our home, living room, kitchen. So when we're in the kitchen cooking, my daughter and I cook together occasionally, and we watch TV. And not having it centered over the fireplace was not going to be an option for us just because of how we live. We do watch TV a lot, and we do enjoy that. She watches YouTube occasionally. I watch, other content creators on YouTube while I'm doing other things. And we live that way. That's just what we get enjoyment out of sometimes. Also, I believe in living in your house and doing things in your house and being comfortable when you're home. And so for us, that works. Having a TV off to the side or on another stand or something else, for us, it just wouldn't work. I think it depends on the space that you have. If you have space to do it and it's not going to be too high, or you're not feeling like you're straining your neck and you're watching the TV like this, then I would say hang it over your fireplace if you have the room. And also just make sure the scale of your TV matches the scale of your fireplace. And you don't want your TV, if you have an 85-inch TV, but you have a smaller footprint for your fireplace and your firebox or your wall even, that it's not, off scale.
Quickly talk about that rule. Where is it the feature that's on the bottom needs to be bigger than the feature that's on the top?
Normally, the feature that's on the bottom should be the feature that's on top, so your TV, should be 2/3 the size of what's on the bottom. So it should be slightly smaller than the feature that's on the bottom.
Yeah.
So even if you're using your TV with a console underneath, your console should be, or your TV should be 2/3 the size of the console that's underneath. And so that's the ratio that I use for our TV. I mean, but the wall we have our TV on is huge. I think most people don't like the TV over the fireplace because they think your fireplace should be the focal point. But you can have more than one focal point in a room. And so sometimes that's the only place you can put a TV. And that's probably, and for some homes, that's the only place you can watch a TV. Is the place where you have it, where it's over the fireplace. And so you have to do things in your home how you live, not necessarily what the trend is or what people think is popular or not popular. You're living there, and as I mentioned earlier, at the end of the day, you want to be able to live in your home and be comfortable in your home, regardless of what's trending and what's not trending and who says this and who says that. You live there, so live there. And be happy living there, be comfortable living there, and watch your damn TV if it's over the top of over the fireplace. Who cares?
Amazing. This is what I'm talking about.
So since we're on the topic of TVs anyway, the next hot thing seems to be frame TV. Would you have a frame TV, yes or no? And what a frame TV is? In case you don't know what a frame TV is, a frame TV is a TV that has a picture frame around it that when you're not watching the TV, you can project art on top of the screen of the TV like it's art. Me personally, I don't have one and probably wouldn't have one. And the reason why is because when I was looking for TVs 4 or 5 years ago, the scale and the size of the TVs that I needed or wanted for my house, the frame TV didn't come in those sizes. Also, when I looked at the visual quality of the frame TV as far as watching TV, I didn't think the video quality was that great. And as I mentioned, I watch TV. We watch movies, we watch Netflix, I watch YouTube. I mean, I watch TV from my TV a lot versus on my laptop or iPad or whatever. And so for me, that wasn't something that I was interested in purchasing because if I was going to watch TV, I still want the quality of the TV that I'm watching to be nice, not so much what the TV is going to look like when it's off. Because for me, when the TV's off, I don't really care what it looks like. Even if it's in a featured space, I mean, I basically just painted the wall that my large TV is on. I painted it black, so the TV sort of disappears behind it anyway. So you don't really notice that it's on or off when it's off, I guess. So for me, that wasn't something that I was going to purchase. Now, there are situations that I've seen and areas that I've seen the frame TV work, and they work beautifully. You can pick the type of frames you want around it. It fits the type of space you have and your style and those sort of things. But just for me, that wasn't something that I was interested in. So we just didn't. I wasn't a trend I got into.
Got it.
The next thing would be open concept. Do you like open concept in your home? Do you like more closed concept where you're able to, have an open concept like we have with our kitchen, dining room, all of those things? And for me, I kind of am torn. I like the open concept. I like the way that the rooms flow one into the other, especially when you're entertaining. So you have a lot more space and a lot more room, and people can flow in and out a lot easier and that sort of thing. But it is difficult when you need a little privacy. Also, too, when you're working from home, I did notice, when my daughter was home over Christmas break and I needed some little privacy, we all had to go to our separate spaces. We couldn't sit, at the kitchen island and do things together like sometimes we do when we're trying to do our own thing. Because, if I'm trying to search for content or topics for my videos and I want to sit here on the kitchen counter and stuff, and she wants to watch videos and have a snack, then I sort of leave and let her have the kitchen counter and then go to my office and then do those things in my office. But she likes to be around me when she's home. So it kind of makes it difficult. So I do understand the challenge people have with wanting which do you want, one or the other. I also think there is a huge benefit of open concept with how much light you get that flows into your open concept space because of the lack of walls. So you get light from the dining room, you'll get light from the living room. I have light from windows that we have on our second story. Our loft is open. So our whole downstairs feels open and airy. The other thing too is when I need to find my daughter, I can just stand in one spot and say, "Hey, can you come downstairs?" And she can hear me versus trying to go to room and try and figure out where she is. So that's helpful. I just think that when we were on lockdown for so long and people started working from home, I think we sort of missed that time where you could go and be away by yourself because you were so connected and had to be on top of each other. Everybody was home and everybody was here, and there was really no sort of avenue to break away from that. And so now that more people are back at work, or some are still working from home, I still think that you sort of want a little more separation. But again, I think it just depends on how you live and how your life lives. I mean, a lot of people like the separate rooms. They like a separate dining room. They like a formal living room, and they like things a little more traditional. That's just not me. But again, you live how you want. You have the style of home that's conducive for how you live. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't say that, well, hey, open concept's more in, and so you go and you rip down all the walls just to have an open concept. You sort of enjoy what you have and make the best of what you have.
Right.
And you can give yourself some sort of separation even in an open concept if you want the separation. Yeah. And so in my house, for example, I wanted to really highlight and designate the rooms and show that they are separated even there are no walls. So in certain areas of the house, I have this black accent that I've painted to signify this is the dining room, and this is the living room space, and this is, so you can still do some of that. And you can do that with furniture, you can do it with rugs, so you can designate areas, even in an open concept space, to let people know this is that specific area just by how you have it staged or with a rug or how you have it painted. You can still make it feel like its own space, even though it's an open concept.
Got it. What do we have?
No alcohol on display. I don't know. I'm not a drinker. I might have a glass of wine every now and then or some champagne or whatever. So for me, having alcohol on display, people would be like, what are you doing? You don't even drink. But for others, they like a little cocktail in the afternoon when they come home from work or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with having a bar cart and putting your things on display and having that not so much be a focus, but still show that that's what your personality is, because you'd like to have a little cocktail, you like to entertain and have your friends over and that sort of thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. What I would say is that if you're going to do that, then just make it nice. Just display it in a nice way. So if you are a wine drinker, find a way to display your wine bottles where it's nice and classy and have like a wine storage unit. Or if you're going to just have the bar cart, I would get maybe some wine bottles that are your favorite that look nice if you're going to show them on there, and also add your nice wine glasses and those sort of things. If you're a Scotch drinker, then have those really nice bottles on display. Maybe have some floating shelves and display your nice bottles of Scotch that way. There's a way, I think, to do anything but still make it look nice and not just make it seem like, oh, we're drinkers over here and we just want to have a cocktail. Right. And it just makes it look like you're just alcoholic, and it just looks bad. And so I'm not against you having alcohol on display. Just display it in a way where it looks classy. And again, you don't look like the alcoholic. Standalone tubs. So in my bathroom, I have a standalone tub. And I have to say, I'm not a bathtub boy. I really like a shower. I've lived in this house for about 5 years, and I think I may have used that bathtub twice. My daughter uses it a lot more than me. I wouldn't say that a freestanding tub is something you need, but they are gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie. They do make a statement. They make your bathroom beautiful. But if you really aren't gonna use the bathtub a lot and you are more of a shower person, then I would say skip it and not either make that the focus of your bathroom or something you feel like you have to have. I would just go with a larger shower, especially if it's one of those things that you're just not gonna use. But again, they are beautiful. And if that's your thing where you're just trying to make the bathroom beautiful and you want to add that extra feature of the bathtub to either make it look that certain aesthetic, then I would say do it. But I don't think it's something you have to have. And if you don't have it, you're losing out on something. Again, I don't use it. So if I didn't have a bathtub in my bathroom, yes, the aesthetics of my bathroom would change and it would be different. But me personally, I wouldn't be missing a bathtub in my room because I don't use it. I'm more of a shower guy. I'd rather get in the shower, do my thing, and I'm out. I just don't ever use the bathtub. My daughter loves that bathtub. She gets in there, she has her spa day on Saturday and throws her little bath bombs in there and lays around, and it's huge. To her, it's like a pool. She likes to, splash around and stuff. That's great for her.
Yeah.
I let her use it, we clean it out, and it's done. I'm not a bathtub guy. I think the whole process of me going through these topics today is just to talk about, I think, trends and things that people feel that, oh my gosh, I saw this on Instagram and I saw it on YouTube and so did it in their house, and oh my gosh, I'm missing out. I have to have it. You don't have to have it. If you want it, then by all means do it. But it's not, don't feel like you're missing out. Oh my God, I have to have it. I just have to do it. You really don't. If you're not going to use it, then I would just skip it. Countertops, marble versus quartz or porcelain or that sort of thing. Marble, gorgeous, timeless, classic. Also, there's a lot of maintenance that goes in with marble, and it's also porous, and it's a softer stone. I would say you have to be delicate with it, but you kind of do. And so for me, if I was redoing a house or redesigning a house or building a house, me personally, I probably wouldn't put marble in my kitchen just because of the way that I live. I am not probably the best person at cleaning up things right away if I need to. If we spill a glass of wine on the countertop, I don't want to be, rushing to try to get it out and making sure that, oh my God, it's going to stain. Some people love that. They like the patina of the marble and oh, that was, we had a dinner party and oh my gosh, and it was so much fun. And that's a memory for you. That's great. And if that's how you want to style your kitchen, that's great. And don't get me wrong, marble's beautiful. Marble countertop, marble backsplash, those things are gorgeous and timeless. Again, it's just, how do you live? Well, if you have, little ones, you might not want marble in your kitchen because, again, you have spills, you have other things, they're helping you in the kitchen, all of those things. And so marble might not be the best thing for you. There are other products that look just as nice as marble. There are quartz products and porcelain products, and they look just as nice as marble. They'll give you that same look, but they are more durable. You don't have to maintain them as much. You don't have to worry about getting the spills up right away. You can spill a glass of wine on it and wipe it up, and it's not going to etch or turn or any of those things. So again, I think it's more about the style of your home and how you live. I don't think it's something that you have to have. I think those statement marbles were trending at one time, and we have to have this marble. And I'm like, you put it in because everybody else sort of put it in, and then there's no sort of creativity or individuality of your house that reflects you, because you're just doing the same sort of stone everybody else is doing. And then that's expensive. That's not something you can change out right away because you sort of got bored of the trend. I mean, we're talking $10,000, $20,000 that you could be putting in just for countertops. So that's not something you could change right away. I think you should look at how you live. Look at, if you cook a lot, if you want the marble, go for it. But I also think that if you just want the marble look, you can probably find something that's less expensive that still gives you that look, and it's less maintenance, it's less to maintain. In the long run, I think for me, if I were doing it, that's what I would do. I would do something that's more of a quartz or more of a porcelain, which is what I have, and still gives you that veining and the look of the marble, but not the maintenance of or the upkeep of what marble is. Statement hoods over your oven or your stove. I love these. I'm not gonna lie. If I could do it all over again, I definitely would. I've actually looked at doing a statement hood over our oven, because right now we just have the Builder Basic sort of vent sort of thing.
Elaborate on a statement hood versus regular.
Yeah, a statement hood would be a hood that covers that basic sort of vent. It also could be the showpiece or focal point of your kitchen. So they're covered in plaster sometimes, or marble, or Venetian plaster, or they're just another art statement piece in your kitchen that gives you another focal point other than your stove and your backsplash. So it's very aesthetic. And again, I think they're gorgeous. Is it something you need? No, but it is definitely a want.
So you got the budget.
Yeah,
you
if
like
you
it.
have the budget and you like it, I would say go for it.
Cool.
Painted brick. For me, I also think, I don't know, I'm kind of torn. I like the look of brick. I like natural brick. I like the age and the patina of certain bricks. For me, painting it would also depend on what color it was before you painted it and the color you're planning on painting it to, I guess. I think it comes down to style and still making it look like it's part of the house and the style of the home and the age of what the home is. I just wouldn't just go right out and just see some brick in the house or brick wall in the house and say, oh, I don't like that, and just go ahead and paint it just to update it. Sometimes the brick does add character to the room. It also shows the age and the style of the house. And if it is in good condition and it really isn't jarring or glaring or a bad pattern or that sort of thing, I would leave it. But I also like the look of painted brick. It would just depend on the room and the situation. If it was where the brick just wasn't going to work with the style of what we were trying to do, I would paint it just so that it would disappear and blend in and let everything else have its moment and just let the brick be, not a focus. If the brick is something that would be worth keeping and that would be the focus, then I would leave it and let everything else just sort of be the backdrop from what the brick and the wall is stating.
So for this topic, the brick works assuming that you bought a home and it's that way already.
Exactly.
It's repurposing something that would take extensive budget to change.
Oh yes.
Okay.
And normally when people are saying, well, hey, we want to paint it, it's exactly that. We don't have the budget to change it, but we want it to disappear, or we want it to blend in, or we want it to be the same sort of style that I'm bringing into the house. So I'm going to try and paint it and make it disappear. And so for me, like I said, I'm torn. I think it would depend on the look that you're trying to do with the house. Also too, I would also think that if you're trying to bring in a certain look or style, try and look for those houses that also fit your look and style. So that
easier to do it that way.
I think so. Yeah. Then I'm just gonna buy this house and try and gut it and rip it down and then make that house my style.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work like that. Unless you have the budget. If you have the budget, then you go ahead and do it. But I think, but realistically, most of us don't have that budget. And so you're trying to fit a square peg into the round hole, as they say. So I would look for a house that's more of what my style is, and then work with that style and make that style work within the house that you're moving into or buying. Just to keep you from having to try to figure out how to paint that and make it go from a cottage sort of style to a more modern style. I just think it's easier that way. Our last two topics, animal print rugs. Are these neutrals or not neutrals? And those would be like a zebra print or a leopard print rug. And in my office, I have a zebra print rug in my office, and I love it. And in my mind, I do say that those are neutrals, which means that I think that they work in any space, with any color, with any design. You can find a leopard print or a zebra print, if that's your thing, because it's my thing, and make it work. So even if it's a modern style, you can make a zebra print work. If it's cottage style, you can make a zebra print work. If it's boho, any of those sort of styles, you can make something like that work. It depends on the scale and the size. I mean, you might not want a zebra rug, but you might want a zebra print pillow, or you might want some artwork that has that sort of pattern or print into it. And I think that is one of the things where you can work it in and make it work with whatever design style you have or whatever color that you're looking at. To me, those are they are neutrals, like a gray, a beige, a brown, a white, a black, and they just work right in there.
It's like a spicy neutral.
For me, yeah, I guess that is a way to look at it. Yeah, it adds some spice, some personality. It just shows, that you like to have a little fun. You like to, show a little more of your style in what you do. It's not just, brown or beige or this is my style. It's all traditional. I just think it, like you said, it adds a little more spice. It adds a little more flavor. It adds a little more you, a little more personality. The last topic that we're going to discuss is brass fixtures. Are they out? Are they in? And I think brass is classic. It's timeless. I don't think it's ever going to be out. I think some of that depends on the type of brass that you're looking for, because some of them can be a little more shiny. Some of them can be a little more where they don't look quite as expensive. And so you want to go with a fixture that's going to, if you like unlacquered brass where it patinas over time, I would do that if that's the style of the house that you have. So if you have a house that might lean more towards something that's a little more traditional, I would use an unlacquered brass because that over time does patina and change, and some people love that. Me personally, I would do a lacquered brass because it's just a more modern, where it's not going to change color, it's not going to patina, I don't have to try to maintain it. But I think in either case, the brass is timeless and classic, and it's not going anywhere. I think it had a trendy moment where everyone's putting it in or taking it out, but I think it's classic and it's timeless. I also try not to follow metal trends. Mm-hmm. I think you kind of like what you like. I also believe in mixing metals in a room because then I think it gives it a little more personality and it's not so matchy-matchy. So I have a lot of black accents throughout my house, but the majority of the light fixtures I have in a lot of my open spaces in my rooms are brass. And so I like the combination of the brass and the black together and how it looks. I also think it makes the light fixtures the feature in the space. I know that this is sort of that tired analogy. Well, the light fixtures are the jewelry of your home, and they kind of are. And they also, I think, add a little more of an elevation to a space to have a nicer light fixture. But you can certainly mix your metals and have a brass light fixture and nickel faucet. The rule that I follow is this, and you should try to follow because I think it helps it and it makes it be more consistent, is whatever the function is you're using for that metal should be consistent. So all of your faucets should be the same. All of your light fixtures should be the same metal. You're not trying to have, 4 different sort of metals of faucets and that sort of thing, because that would look a mess. But I think if you do the same function for the same fixture and have the same finish in that fixture, I think that that's what ties it all together. Yeah. Overall message, I think you do what you like. I mean, design has rules, but it also doesn't, I think. I think at the end of the day, it's your home and you want to live in the home where you are paying the bills. And you also want to live in the home in a way where you're comfortable and you feel like you're enjoying the space that you're in and you're not just paying attention to the trends. You're living in the house the way that it functions for you and your family. And I think in the long run, that's really what you should be looking at, more so than, well, what's trending this week? Are fluted cabinets in? Are they out? Or is marble in? Or is it out? Or is the color purple in? Or is it out? I mean, if you like purple, find a space in your house and get you some purple, if that's what you like. And if you don't, then don't do that based on what the trend is. There was a trend, I think, earlier where they were doing this pop of red. In every sort of room, you would have even if it was a neutral space, you put this pop of red in the corner. It was supposed to evoke energy, and you see that's part of the room. And I'm kind of like, what is the point of that? Some people don't even like red. I love red personally; it's my favorite color. But I'm not running around trying to add these pops of red in every room simply because that's the trend. I don't really see what the point is of stuff like that. You live in your home and enjoy your home, and do things that make your home livable, not so much make your home trendy or Instagrammable, photographable sort of thing. I don't know. I just think that we get so caught up in the trend and what is everybody doing? What is everybody doing? Do what works for you. Do what works for you. Have it your own style. Have it your own personality, not just copy and paste what everybody else is doing. Make it your own. You can certainly follow trends and certainly add some trends in your home if that's what you want to do. But for me, if I was going to do some of the trends, I would definitely do them at a lower scale. I wouldn't try and paint my entire room the color of the year because you might not like that whole room painted that color. But you can add that in different sort of elements. You can add it in pillows. You can add it in artwork. And to me, that's a less expensive commitment because the color of the year is going to be different next year. And so then are you just going to paint that a different color? You probably would. And if some people live like that, that's what they do. That's great. You don't have to. So if you have stayed here this long and watched me till the end, take the time to go out and click that subscribe button. I'm Roma. This is Rooms by Roma Interior Design, and I look forward to creating with you.